They can play defense, attack you, but also they can pull it out and find the open guy who can hit a three. And we've seen that before, especially even last year we saw that. But these guys got to start hitting more threes. Wesley Matthews 0 for 3, Caruso 1 for 3. But that'll come along. But when you have a guy like LeBron who's just going crazy all night, that really doesn't matter as much. That's just a takeaway moving forward for the Lakers. And then on the Cavaliers side, they did their thing. 17 turnovers. You got to take care of the ball a little more, especially with a team like the Lakers who's going to capitalize on your turnovers, on your mistakes. They out-rebounded the Lakers, so that's good. About the same amount of steals, so that'll work. And they were moving the ball around. They got 18 assists, so they were moving the ball. And they were playing it as close as they could. They won the second quarter and came out and won the third quarter. But like I said, when you have that guy and he sees the narrative there and the writing on the wall, nobody's gonna mess his show up. And in the fourth quarter, he just came alive. And they won that quarter 28-19, and he put the Cavs away. But for the Cavs, I just the takeaway for them is, we played well enough to win that game. If Braun is not magnificent like he was, that's a closer game. We might take one off of them. So moving forward, I don't put my head down about that game. That's, maybe take care of the ball a little more, and try to focus a little bit more on the defense side and get some more stops. But when a guy like that of that magnitude is going off, there's not really much that you can do about it. You just gotta accept the loss. Next game, Nuggets Mavs, 117-113. The Nuggets took that game. Like I said, these two teams seem similar to me, but so far the Nuggets have had the Mavs number. The Nuggets start out a strong first half. They win both quarters. And last night, Michael Porter Jr. played very well. He's finally starting to come back into the lineup. They were missing him for a little while, but he made them remember that he was a big part of the reason why they went so far last night. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals. He was doing it all last night. In the second half, however, they started to let go of the pedal a little bit. In the third quarter, they lost 36-22. But they saw the writing on the wall, because they've been on the other side of the 3-1 lead, and they know that it takes all 4 quarters to win a game. And they won the fourth quarter, and they turned it back up when it needed to be. Luka's so special, 35, 16, and 11. He's so good, facilitating, playmaking, scoring. He's just such an amazing talent. But the guys around him need to step up. They just need to. They had Johnson good off the bench, 16 points. Burke had 9. But I think they were missing a couple of these guys last night. But they got to step up. They got to give them a little more help. They played the Mavericks played well, and the Nuggets they just outplayed them, 15 threes to 11 threes. You lost by 4. It wasn't a bad game for the Mavs, but they need to be able to step up a little bit and help Luka when he's having games like this. That he just looked dominant across all 4 quarters, but it just wasn't enough to knock the Nuggets off last night. Then we go to Celtics Bulls, and the Bulls were in a bad spot last night because Tatum had watched the games prior to this, and he was ready last night, and he wasn't about to take an L on his first night back. Tatum had 24, 5 and 4. He just stepped back on the court and looked like he didn't even miss a beat. 50% from the 3-point line, almost 50% shooting from the field. They shot 50% from the 3, 15 threes. The Bulls shot more threes than they did, but at a lesser clip. And the Celtics were able to lock down defensively, caused 18 turnovers, 9 steals, and I think they won this game on the defensive side because they know how hot the Bulls can get, and they were able to stop that. They were able to stop that through all 4 quarters. They won every single quarter last night, and that's because of their defense. They had their guys back. Their deep team and their full deep team of all defensive players and all people that can really score the ball when they get the opportunity because they move the ball around, find a good shot, and then on defense, the defense turns into offense with fast breaks. So last night, that's the team that can take the Celtics far, and you need to be scared of seeing them in the playoffs. Marcus Smart, 13 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds. He was the top performer last night, and the Celtics they're just a really, really solid team, and I really do like the Celtics as the dark horse in the Eastern Conference. And then you go Warriors, Timberwolves. I'm not gonna give too much to my Golden State Warriors. The Timberwolves are awful, but we needed to get this win. It's one that we have to win. It's one that we have to win big to give us a little boost after losing those games that we were losing in the manner that we lost them. So for me, it's a good win, must need. We shot 34 points. 34 in the first, 34 in the second, 25 in the third, and 37 in the fourth. That's the type of stat line I need to see from them on a nightly basis to be able to get to the point where we need to get. And clearly, we're capable of that. Curry 36, 4 and 3 last night. They need to take care of the ball better. 15 turnovers, but that comes a lot with their style of play. Defensively, we were good. 13 steals, 10 blocks. A lot of that credited to A. Wiggs, Kelly, and Draymond Green. Wiseman didn't start last night. Came off the bench. And we shot very well from the three, 46%. We had 14 threes, and we were able to stop them from shooting threes. They had 8, and that was really, that was a big part of the game right there, just in them not being able to hit shots from the perimeter and us taking advantage of that. So, it was a good game for us. Won every quarter except for the third. But that's the style of basketball they need to play in order to continue to get better and eventually get to the playoffs where we need to be at. And then the final game of the night was Thunder Trailblazers. And the first meeting around, Dame was able to step up late in the fourth, and he put them over the top. But I told you guys when they played the first time that the Thunder are a really good team, and Shea Alexander is a really, really good player, and he's come very far. And he took over last night. He in every aspect of the game, he was just their leader, and he led them to the promised land. 24, 9, and 6 for Shea, 26, 10, and 6 for Dame. Those two guys are very, very good point guards in this league. Dame's a way better shooter, clutch time performer, but Shea's on his way up there, and just his composure, the way that he facilitates the ball, he can shoot the ball well too, and he just gets his teammates in the right spot. And the Thunder are fighters. They're a team that likes to play with each other. They don't really get too selfish with the ball. They play hard. They play good defense, and they're gonna play you for 4 quarters. And last night they did. 34 in the first, 35 in the second, 25 in the third, 31 in the fourth, and they were just feeling themselves last night, and they kept coming and coming and coming and coming. The Blazers as well did 24 in the first, 36 in the second, 31 in both quarters in the second half. But the Blazers' slightly slow start, even though it's 24. They weren't able to get enough stops from the Thunder, and the Thunder kind of got into their groove starting in the first, and it was just a wrap from there because they just kept coming and coming and coming. So the Thunder, great win for them last night against a very good team, 125-122. And the Thunder can win games against a lot of teams that you wouldn't expect them to win, just because their style of play, and they just keep fighting. So I do like the Thunder, but a good win against a team that's been rolling, the Trailblazers, even though they had no C.J. McCollum. So 125-122. Now let's take a look at the board. Not too much change with these rankings. Let me change the date. Y'all always make me forget about this. 26th, and let me change. This is from last night. So we talk player of the day. Let's talk difficulty. Let's talk performance. And you know what? Okay, so their opponent has been rolling. I saw them take 2 big games off of a team that we think that should be in the playoffs, in the finals. Their team is really good. They know that this guy was coming home to see him, and that he was going to try to give their best game. And they're not a bad team at all. They're not the team of old. And this guy just had a night